Good evening, everyone. This is the regular scheduled city council meeting for Monday, August 4th. Can I get a roll call on numbers, please?
Scott Agora,
Here.
Zach Bryan,
Here.
Andrew Kears,
Here.
Bob Clemens,
Here.
Laura Sauerman,
Here.
Joe Sanders,
Here.
President Chad Jeffries,
Here.
all present.
We do have a full phone tonight. First on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the previous meeting, which was held on July 7th. Second. The motion to approve and a second.
Aye.
Abstain.
Opposed? Passes. Tonight we'll have the reading of the agenda, addition of new items, which are, there are none. Approval of claims and SRF distributions. And the presentations, we have our 4th of July parade winners, first place, second place, third place. So looking forward to that. We'll have public comments. And also, and under old business, we do have 3 proposed ordinance, second readings. And nothing under new business tonight. So pretty short agenda this evening. First is the approval of claims and SRF distribution.
Thank you, Mayor. I've reviewed the claims. They all appear to be normal city business, so I'll move to approve them as presented.
There's a motion to approve the claims
I'll second that.
in a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Presentations, Diana. So we had the big 4th of July parade. Hopefully, well, I know our award winners were attending. Great parade, great turnout. Got lucky with the weather. Just a great hometown community event. So we want to recognize the top 3 vote getters. Diana?
Thank you. This year we got 125 entries. We did have a few last minute dropouts, but this is the most that we've had since the city has taken it over in the last few years. So it's very well received, very well attended. So we're excited to announce all of our entries. We have a lot of sponsors too. So 22 sponsors that helped us put this on. So without them, obviously this would not be possible. So our third place, we're gonna get right to it. Our third place is ME Dance.
Whole group, come on. All right. Who's going to be entrusted?
Lila, she's the tallest.
All right. There you go. No pressure.
So
There you go.
Lila in the middle, Skylar Jane next to Skylar, Allison on the outside, Maddie, Jules right here, first Jules. Right here. All right, Jane right where you're at, Nina right here. Chloe,
I love this.
Grace, Skylar.
It's like Mary.
Hunter. All right, girls, we're gonna go around behind. I'm gonna squeeze behind you here.
Mary's organization.
So before we do the picture one, you guys did a great job. Thank you so much, one, for participating. A great job you did. Do you want to say anything on behalf of the group to those in the audience and those?
So we are ME Dance. We're in our 4th year. We start our dancers at walking, and we have ladies in our 70s that are dancing with us. So we have something for everyone. We hope you check us out.
Very nice. Well put. Well put.
Here for a photo, big picture day smiles. 1, 2, 3. Big picture day smiles. Okay, we're all set.
Yeah. All right.
All right, second place is the Mobile Sensory Hub with Matt Kovacek.
Matthew. So if you don't know, this is the first of its kind, really anywhere that we've been able to find. Led by Matt and Adam, some public works group, a whole bunch of people made this a reality. They were invited up to Chicago be on the plaza with Fox News, so you guys were up there all morning, did a great job interviewing and represented well, so.
Currently at the Lake County Fair.
That's fair, you know, so great job, Matthew.
Thank you.
And this year's first place winner is Costco Wholesale.
Congratulations, who am I giving this to?
Thank you.
Give it to the boss.
All right,
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
the boss. Thank you.
So again, congratulations, one, and but thank you so much for participating. As Diana said, it was our largest, we've been doing this a long time. It was our largest turnout as far as flow, so. Anything you want to share with the group?
No, you don't have a Costco membership yet.
Well put.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely come back next year. All right,
Thank you.
you good?
Look at me. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Yeah, you are more than welcome, the award winners, to stay for the meeting. You don't feel obligated to, but you can leave if you want.
Except for Costco.
Gotta get the
Peace
crystal
out.
waters.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Up next is our petition remonstrance and public statements. So this is the part of the meeting that you, if you want to share anything with the council, you can come up to the podium and state your name and address, and pass on any information to the council. Evening, sir.
Good evening. My name is Charlie Burley. I live at 1257 Madison. And I had the police called on me because of lack of pickup in the parkway. A neighbor called on me. And I'm new, about 2-year resident here. And so I called on the 10th of July because I had a big brush pile in the parkway. But the parkway, and there are duplexes right there. And so the property lines are tight. And unbeknownst to me, the one neighbor didn't like the fact that we were walking on her property, which I never had a problem in the last 2 years. It's always been friendly. And then we stacked the stuff, and it was in the parkway, which I thought was kind of like the town. I know we're responsible for maintaining and cutting the grass and stuff. Well, anyways, some of it was on the her parkway. And so anyway, she called the police. I had 2 young boys from church helping me, and some unpleasant things were said. And that's not the way things are supposed to work. So we called on the 10th, and our stuff didn't get picked up until the 28th. Now, we called repetitiously and talked to a Wendy. And I said, to lower the temperature of the neighbors. I said, well, I'll get a trailer and I'll throw the stuff on the trailer and I'll go take it to the facility. Because all the towns that I've been around, Sherville, Dyer, Highland, they all have a place where you can take your debris if you want to. Well, there isn't a place in Crown Point. Like that blew my mind. And then they couldn't pick it up because one truck or something broke down. And, you know, like, yeah, I'm bitching. Because a town of this size, this is the county seat. It doesn't have enough vehicles to go around and take care of the people that we pay tax. You know, and besides that, and like at the site where you keep the things, there should be 3 or 4 of them gigantic compactors. All the other towns have them. And so I would like to have some answers about that.
If you can give, are you familiar with his residence, Terry?
I will.
So this is Terry Sikora is in charge of all public works, which those crews fall under. So Terry will follow up with you on the information he shared tonight and then any further or other issues or questions you have.
Okay.
Okay?
The only reason I'm a little upset is I'm new here 2 years. And then a problem with having a neighbor call the police when I'm trying to clean up my place.
I can see where that didn't sit well.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
We'll go. Thank you. We're gonna stay with this.
Good evening.
Good evening. We're here, we live, my name's Dan. I live at 245 East South Street.
I'm Tony Piper, 312 Pettibone.
I'm Lynn Shively, 321 East South.
We live near Wells Street Park, as you know.
I was out there today.
You were up there today. So we're came in because there has been just a lot of issues at Wells Street Park. It's become a pretty unsafe place that people just don't want to even take their kids anymore. The basketball courts there, we have discussed with you, you know, about taking the hoops down. You have been trying to work with the neighborhood. You know, you set up the barricades to kind of shut the courts down for now, to replace the lights. However, it's a short-term fix. I don't know if most of you are aware with where Wells Street Park is, next to Solon Robinson. It is a secluded park that you can only get in through dead-end streets. Friday, we had 2 carloads of people to play basketball, do about 60 miles an hour down Pettibone. They drove through the field in the middle of the day, 2 o'clock. They drove through the park, came out onto the cul-de-sac on Hickory. Laura, who is not here yet, I guess, but she happened to be at the park, so she called the police. When they got out to play basketball, they realized that someone was sitting there on their phone, so they did reverse down Hickory, to avoid getting their plates photographed. Saturday night, they showed up. We get carloads of people, all just nonstop, just the whole park, just full of people, trash in the park, vulgar language, open drug use. They're smoking weed right under the pavilion in front of kids. We watch people from Maple Lane or all sides of the park come into the park. They turn around and walk right home with their kids. Kids from the neighborhood come to play basketball. They turn around and we watch them just walk in and walk out. Saturday night, right after the car incident with them driving through the park in the middle of the day, probably about 8:30 at night, a bunch of individuals showed up, realized the basketball courts were closed, and essentially threw a tantrum. They were still throwing the ball from outside the barricade. They decided to have a party in the cul-de-sac. They started smoking weed. As you went to CJ's house today, you met CJ, nice couple that just bought the house with their 2-year-old there. He's found them urinating in their backyard, smoking weed on their front lawn. He's terrified to even call the police. A lot of times we get asked why people don't call the police because they're pretty much intimidating him because he lives right there. They decided to have boxing matches in the cul-de-sac because barricades were blocking the basketball court, so they pulled out boxing gloves and decided to have Fight Club in the middle of the cul-de-sac last night. The park is just trashed. I don't even think the Parks Department, you came out and met us that one night, that the cops came. The cops are just there all the time, and it's not even a fraction of the amount of time that they should be out there, because it's just, there's so much going on. I don't know what the long-term solution is. I don't think the lights are going to help. I mean, this is a temporary fix, putting the lights up, but once the lights come up, I mean, the neighbors are just gonna be relentlessly calling the police. It's these courts. The problem is the park is so secluded, you know. Maple Lane dead ends to the cemetery, Pettibone dead ends, Hickory dead ends. You know, Wells Street where Solon is, there's nowhere to park. So everybody has to come through dead ends, and it's all residential. Really, I don't know how to make this happen or what needs to happen, but
Cut the basketball hoops down.
Yeah.
the hoops have to come down.
100%, it has to happen.
It has
And
to
I almost
happen.
cut them down myself 2 years ago when I had the same problem with them. I lived on East Street for 17 years. They need to be cut down.
Thank you.
It's getting,
Now.
it's getting worse.
Crown
I
Point
agree.
has done that before.
I agree. Oh, I know,
Okay,
Mitros did it years ago.
Thank you. It's.
I know he did.
It's getting worse. The park is just a terrifying place to be.
It's a nice, quiet neighborhood.
It's
too.
a nice quiet neighborhood. I know the city's
Sorry, fired me up.
response was they're very concerned that people aren't going to get to play basketball, which I understand, but kids from the neighborhood are not getting to play basketball anyway.
Yeah, so the short-term issue, we have to do the lights, because you've noticed the poles.
The problem is, I think.
No, but
But-
they have to be done as part of just, our
I
maintenance and
understand that,
enhancement.
but the
But we'll
lights
continue-
haven't worked for 3 years.
I know, what the
But they're
utility
enhanced.
poles are there, that's been scheduled, so you're gonna see those on Wednesday, probably on the court with some city vehicles. Which I discussed when I was down there today. So the other stuff, you've seen the extra police because we told them and they've done extra patrol. So it'll be a continuous, not one
We
thing's
do
gonna
appreciate
work.
the extra patrols.
The
by way.
littering, you're
How-
right, people are slops, there's 5-6 garbage cans there. And we'll pull it.
And most of the
on the
time, the
ground.
Parks Department doesn't even see the trash. Residents have been picking up the trash.
Well, we thank you for taking care of helping beautify the park.
And we do appreciate the extra patrols. However, it's not enough. Honestly, you met CJ today. I mean, it was quiet.
So we got, Dan, we gotta move on.
Yeah,
but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I
But
appreciate you guys
honestly-
coming and I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys watching the park, that's.
Someone
neighbors.
should be stationed to that guy's house for a while, because they were out there intimidating last time, which is why he hasn't been calling the police. So he's afraid to come out of his own house.
Yep.
And the patrols haven't been enough, because they always miss,
Okay,
they miss everybody that, you know.
okay.
So it's, one quick last thing, the sports park on North Street. All the sports are there, you got volleyball, football, baseball, everything. If the city is so concerned about kids playing basketball, should really think about moving those courts to a place that's not surrounded by little kids and residents. Plenty of space at that sports park,
Okay,
where there could be, you know, it's open, there's police patrolling it. It's a perfect place.
Okay.
It's not for the neighborhood anymore.
appreciate you guys coming in there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we wanted to
All right,
say.
thank you.
It's not if someone gets hurt, it's when someone gets hurt.
It's coming.
Evening, sir.
Look, my name is Chuck Clausen. I live at 660 George Bowen Court. And I was here to, I hate to say complain, but just about the, my recent water bill, actually the one that we paid in early June for the month of May. And it was not the charges for the water, which I have an irrigation system and I water my lawn, and most of my neighbors do. It was the sewer charge specifically. The city, I was informed, you know, and I never noticed it before. I've been here for 5 years. The city had a summer water sewer charge rate where they base it upon your January, February, March bills, and it keeps the sewer charge at a more reasonable level rate during the summer when you might be using a lot of water, but you're not really using the sewer system. with the water just going onto your yard, your grass. But anyway, my water bill for the month of May was $550. And I had a neighbor that had a $700 bill because he planted some grass in the backyard, and so they had some extra watering. But anyway, $304 of that was a sewer charge. And on your website, it says people also ask, what's a normal sewer bill? And it says like $60 to $70 a month. Now, fortunately, I got my July bill just in the mail recently, and it's for, you know, a much lower rate because the summer rates are in. I'm not asking you to change the water rates or sewer rates or something you can't do, but I'd ask you to, please don't, I feel like I'm being charged for something I'm not using with that. And if they could reconsider going back to what they had before, which was, I believe May through October, were considered to be the summer rates. I guess this May, I noticed my last May, I didn't use nearly as much water. It was pretty dry and kind of hot, and I kind of base it on what I think I need, you know, to keep it looking good. But anyway, I'm just asking if they could reconsider going back to what they had before on the summer sewer rates. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Chuck.
Hi, I'm Susan McKendry. I live in Crown Point, Indiana, and I have a redacted address. So, good evening, council members. You've seen me many times before, so I'm here again. I'm providing you copies of documents that I emailed to all of you yesterday, some of them, because I want to review a couple of them. One of them is a donation agreement between Edward Hine, LDL Development, and the city of Crown Point, along with a deed that transferred 44 acres for the new Southeast Water wastewater treatment plant that was signed solely by Edward Hine. I've made at least 3 formal requests to the city of Crown Point for any record that shows the city had any knowledge or possession of an agreement involving LBL Development and Edward Hine, and none has been provided. I would like you first to look at the deed, which I gave you. It has a little orange tab. The only signature on this document is by Edward Hine. He's the sole person who owned the property and was transferred to the city. The next thing I want you to look at is the donation agreement, which is the next, has a yellow tab at the top. That shows you that this donation agreement reads Edward J. Hine and LBL Development LLC herein after collectively donor. This deed clearly shows that Edward Hine donated the land with his signature, but the city of Crown Point entered into a contractual agreement for a donation of land that LBL Development didn't own. They never owned it. So I want to know from you, where's the agreement that the city reviewed to accept an agreement with someone who didn't own the property that we signed an agreement with? Anybody? Did you see anything? Where's the due diligence, people? We now have 2 people who have gone before the IURC to testify on behalf of the city of Crown Point who refer to that document, that agreement, as fact that LBL Development donated land to the city. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That property was owned by Edward Hine. Now, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know what kind of backroom deals are going on. I don't know what's being hidden, or if this is just a failure on your part to follow up and find out what's really going on. But I'm asking you, please start looking. Please pay attention to the details. 113th Avenue project is a prime example of failing to look at the details. The city took land from a 78-year-old woman because you didn't look at the details and gave her nothing for it. I talked about it before. I shouldn't have to say it again. Page 2 talks about what we're gonna give to that donor, including LPL Development, who didn't give us anything. The last page is a picture, or at least those of you that have Exhibit C, you should all have Exhibit C, shows you the dark pieces of land that are owned by LDL Development. And those are the properties we're gonna supply water and sewer to, whether or not they are part of our tax base. Why are we providing services to properties that aren't in our tax base? Why are we even considering that? I can't follow the logic of what's going on here. Anybody want to comment? No? Okay. If we don't get the ship right, I'm probably gonna see some more of your faces on the Lake County Republicans wall next time.
Thank you, Susan. Maybe Sam?
Sam Kazias, 225 East 113th Avenue. As all the council members should know, Crown Point and Winfield are involved in a lawsuit with the IURC, which Susan just mentioned. As part of Al Stong's testimony, he revealed that Crown Point's existing wastewater treatment plant has available treatment capacity to meet the initial sewage demand for the disputed area. He also mentions that if wastewater service is needed before December 27th, Crown Point can extend the sewer line about 3,900 feet east of the existing manhole along US 231 to handle the flows from the disputed area. Which now brings me to these points. I watched a plan commission meeting from July 28th, this last plan commission meeting, where Laura, Chad, and Joe discussed the proposal for another 436 homes to be built on Iowa Street near Iowa and 121st, right next to the wastewater, the proposed plant. Joe expressed concerns, noting that he believed that the plant was already operating at full capacity and couldn't accommodate any further growth. Yet despite the recent rate increase vote from the February or March meeting, he said we continue to approve more subdivisions to rely on this old plant. Another issue from that meeting was the fact that Lennar proposed 55-foot wide lots. Both Chad and Laura said they would be on board if they increased the lots to 60 feet, even though the city's minimum requirement is 80 feet. What are you guys thinking? Why are we continuing to bend the rules for these developers and builders? If the requirement is 80 feet, then we should stick to it, 80 feet. Dan Rohaney also mentioned in that meeting that the designated area was intended for industrial and commercial use according to the city's master plan. Therefore, why would we even consider not one, but 2 workshops for this proposed subdivision? In a recent council meeting, Chad emphasized the need to proceed with the wastewater treatment plant project, noting that the current capacity has been reached. However, during the same plan commission meeting, he mentioned that we are, and I quote, "We are basically at max capacity, but not at 100%. He further indicated that based on the current growth rate, the existing system could support operations for another 5 years. During that city council meeting on March 3rd, Laura expressed, "We have to address the problems now," referring to the issues with the combined water and sewer system in the downtown area. She emphasized that it is important to resolve these issues without constructing the new plant. Is it possible to resolve these issues without constructing the new plant? Laura continues to link these 2 different projects together, which are the downtown interceptor and the new wastewater treatment plant. It is also important to note that Greg Gutierrez mentioned during the same March 3rd city council meeting that we needed to hurry up and approve phase 2 before the state runs out of money. He clarified that the state has plenty of money, but there are a ton of communities that need the money in their area. And these 0% loans are drying up daily at this point. This situation has us rushing again without conducting our due diligence, similar to what occurred, and Susan mentioned, on 113th Avenue Road project. We all know how that project turned out. I urge the city council to clarify this situation. Were you guys all aware of these developments and issues, or have you been misled? As you may recall, I emailed each and spoke with all of you except for Bob. He never got a response out of. I never got a response out of him. I asked all of you to defer the increase and not pass the ordinance to raise our sewer rates until the IURC lawsuit is resolved. And I also asked for the council to demand a second opinion from an outside engineering firm. But it's obvious that no one wanted a second opinion because they already had the deal that they wanted in place.
Thanks, Sam. Go ahead and close the public statement part. Just one quick, Deb, are you coming up?
Yes.
Okay.
Debbie Hill. I live at 321 East Clark, right down the street. I'm here to talk about the church on North Street. I can see it from my front yard. It would break my heart to look down there and see nothing there anymore. This building, this site has so much potential. Interested parties, interested developers who have got some great plans. And this photo and this article appear in the National Trust for Historic Preservation. It's a nationally recognized group. It's actually sponsored by Congress. It appears in the summer issue of their magazine this year. I belonged to that organization for many more years than I can count. They have a special section it comes out every 2 months. They have a special section in every magazine. It's called Transitions. Places restored, threatened, saved, and lost. Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church is threatened. It doesn't need to be threatened. This is a very historic property. And there's so many people who want to see it saved. And I just wish that you could just make this happen. Blake Swihart submitted this article and this photo to the magazine in order to get it some national recognition. And he had, I won't read the whole thing, it's a little long, but he has, in early April 2025, the city granted the foundation another chance to find a new buyer who could come up with an approvable plan. A potential buyer came forward and the city board expressed support for the new plan. So there is hope for the building, but after multiple false starts in the past, advocates are still worried for its future as of press time. In the next issue of Preservation Magazine, I don't want to see this church under lost. Thank you.
Thanks, Deb.
Sweats, I live at 317 East North Street, just across from the church that we were just talking about. So thank you for the opportunity to speak on this subject before you this evening. And as some of you know, I previously voiced my strong support for saving the old Trinity building. My support has only increased since Creekside has expressed their interest in the project. All parties involved on their side seem fully committed to a neighborhood appropriate reimagining of this building. I often speak to those who just walk by my house, walking their dogs, walking to downtown, whatever. And sometimes they'll stop and we'll start talking about things. And I would say generally, once people hear that there is a plan, they're almost like excited about it. Like they would rather see something there and see the building saved and then it, rather than it be torn down and it just be a lot. So I'm just here to say, I think that Creekside has great plans and ideas for saving the building, and I ask you all to support the requested zoning changes. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Janine Letcher. I live at 107 East Elizabeth Drive here in Crown Point. I'm both a resident of Crown Point and I serve as the Indiana Room Specialist for the Crown Point Community Library. I'm also the historian and president of the Lake County Historical Society. And as many of you may have seen today, I was featured in the Times because I was just recently appointed as the Lake County historian by the Indiana Historical Society. I come with almost 35 years of experience of historical preservation and knowledge. And again, I'm asking that you do approve the Trinity Lutheran Church Saving the Church. As part of my role at the Indiana Room, I've been giving historic tours. You may have seen the trolley. We work with the city, which has been a wonderful partnership. This was their 10th year of doing the tours, and Trinity has already been on the tour. But I've expanded it and added some things. And 2 weeks ago today actually was our last evening tour for the summer season. And as I'm talking about the church and then other things throughout that 4-mile tour, at the end, a couple got off. And someone said to me, I was against saving this church and you changed my mind. That meant the world. And I hope that you, and her reasoning is I ended by saying that history, once it's lost, it can't be found again. And once the buildings are torn down, they can't be put back up again. And I stressed that throughout the tour, talking about homes, buildings, businesses, various things. And for that couple to come up and say that meant a lot. And I hope that you hear that as well. Remember, history is progress, preservation is progress, and that I hope when they present their final for the reading is that you take that into consideration and help us preserve this important piece of our history. Thank you.
Anyone else in the public comment? We'll go ahead and close the part of the meeting. Just real quick, I never like to try and correct anybody that said anything. It's their time to say what they want to say. There, just for people watching at home, there's never been a lawsuit. We've had great communication over the last year. We can't decide fully in agreement. The IURC is the state agency that controls all things utilities. So then you each go to the IURC to present your case, and they kind of help you work it out and decide. But there's no lawsuit, never has been. Winfield's not suing us, we're not suing Winfield. So that's just for anybody watching. Okay, moving on to old business. Number 1, ordinance number 2025-06-17. An ordinance granting rezone from I-1 industrial to B3 business located at 10935 and 11005 Delaware Parkway. This is the second reading. Meeting?
How you doing?
Good.
My name's Connor Ritzy here on behalf of KB Solutions and RTS Development in regard to the lots on Delaware. We are seeking to rezone from I-1 to B3. As stated previously, these lots are currently zoned I-1, and given the development along 109th, just doesn't seem appropriate any longer. Owners would love to see either a retail location there or another restaurant user, kind of creating a buffer in between the new development and the industrial park.
Josh, nothing to add since the previous.
No, everything's exactly on track where it should be. They've done everything we asked.
We'll bring this to the council then for questions or action.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-06-17.
Second, we have a motion for adoption and a second. Discussion on the motion.
I have a question. In my copy of the ordinance, it says, in section 1, the zoning classification of the above described property should be rezoned and the existing zoning map should be changed to represent R3 residential district. Is that a typo? I'm assuming it needs to say B3. I'm not sure if it's just online or.
Right. It says residential business.
You have a copy of that? Not on hand, but I suggested it.
I just want to.
Yeah, no, that's just a typo.
Yeah, yes.
Last time. This is what Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I'll amend my motion to reflect the change in language.
I'll second the amendment.
Motion and a second. With that notation. For the change. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, call a roll, please, Shirley.
Scott Warwick,
Yes.
Zach Bryan,
Yes.
Andrew Cares,
Yes.
Bob Clemens,
Yes.
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
Joe Sanders,
Yes.
and Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Number 2, ordinance number 2025-07-18. An ordinance granting rezone from R3 residential to OS1 officers located at 400 East North Street, second reading. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Thanks for having us back. I'm Jake Rhodes with Dynasty Real Estate. This is Mike Arnold with Creekside. We're coming back regarding the hot topic tonight, 400 East North, the church. And the zoning change. This is our second reading. So as many of you all know, it's a hot topic because of the current condition of the facility. The church has been here for over 100 years. It's experienced significant damage from snow, rain, animals, some vandalism. And what we're trying to do as we left after the first reading was that we were going to try to do some due diligence to figure out exactly the next steps. And there's some significant structural damage, there's environmental damage, and there's a couple other things that are, it's a tough load to carry. And after engaging a couple companies, environmental engineers and structural engineers, we have found that it's going to be several $1,000s to get an actual study done so we can see exactly what we've got on our hands. There's a lot of steel, there's a lot of components of this building that are over 100 years old. It's soaking wet in the basement and has been for a number of years. So with that, not to put the cart before the horse, but we're requesting the appropriate zoning so that we can know that we can spend this money to try to figure out exactly the next steps. I want to be very clear and transparent with everybody in this room and all the supporters as well, that environmental is very important and very costly. Structural is very important and very costly. And this project is likely going to be in the millions of dollars. So that's why we were requesting the zoning change before we start to go and spend thousands of dollars to figure out our actual next steps. And that's what brought us back here today. So we're hoping for an approval today so we can do our due diligence and actually try to move this thing forward and see if we can save it. That's really where we're at.
So we've had more than one discussion on this. So just for the council, so should the council grant the rezone, then you kind of already have your ducks in a row of what would be your next step to get these studies that you need to do to make a final decision on the path forward.
Excuse me, Mayor, before we move on, I'm on the board of the 1886 Church Foundation, so I'm going to recuse myself from this portion of the meeting. Before we get too far into the conversation, just want to make you aware.
Okay. Yep. Thanks. So that's kind of the intention standing here.
Exactly. So to engage a environmental engineer and a structural engineer as well, so that we can see exactly what we've got here. When the apartments were added onto the church side, there are some beams and some structures that aren't affixed to the external walls, which could be an issue. And obviously, if we take the time and put the money and resources into this project, We want to make sure it's up to code and it's going to be standing for another 100 years going forward. So really, that's just kind of our step, and I think we're at the point where we will invest that money to try to figure out exactly what we've got here.
Yeah, just do that before.
I want to point out before we get any further too, that there's also the same type of in the language in section 1, that it should be changed to OS1 office service.
Oh, and so, yeah.
So. Okay. Well, I'm talking to, I want to say that there's some passionate presentation tonight. You know the feeling, there's a lot of people that want to preserve it. I'd love to see it preserved, but I understand too the risk you're taking and the importance of having the zoning change in order for you to carry on. And I had discussions before this with other council members that no matter what happens, we'd be better off to have it, the zoning change for the future of that corner. So we're in favor of that.
Thanks, Joe.
Wasn't a motion yet. Anyone else want to talk?
I move to adopt ordinance 2025-0718
With the language.
with the correction.
Okay, so I have a motion for
I'll
adoption.
second that.
And a second. Any further discussion on the motion?
Do whatever you can, Victor. I know money is a factor always, I know that, but see what you can do. Of course. Yeah, I got plenty to help you.
Any further discussion on the motion? Okay, I'll call a roll, please.
Scott Warwick,
Yes.
Zach Bryan. Andrew Kears.
Yes.
Bob Clemens,
Yes.
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
Joe Sanders.
Yes.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Good luck.
And Zach is back. Yes. Number 3, ordinance number 2025-07-19, ordinance authorizing the additional appropriation and law fund, second reading. This is your call for our department. Or, I'm sorry, Charlie.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-07-19.
Motion for adoption, we have a second.
I'll second.
And a second. Discussion on the motion. Call the roll, please.
Scott Warwick,
Yes.
Zach Bryan,
Yes.
Andrew Kears,
Yes.
Bob Clemens,
Yes.
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
Joe Sanders,
Yes.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Council, as I said, nothing under new business. Miscellaneous, we do have, which we didn't put on the agenda, our budget meeting, August 19th, at what time, sure?
6 o'clock.
August 19th at 6 p.m. And our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, September 2nd, also at 6 o'clock, so there's a time change here. So August 19th, 6 p.m.
And I'm just clarifying, is that a budget committee meeting or is that a full council meeting?
That's the presentation of the budget. So the next council meeting is at 6 o'clock. Anything else?
I would just like to say something. I mean, we hear a lot of people come up with public comment and say some things, and we're certainly all entitled to our own opinions on projects and things that we do at the city, but we're not entitled to have our own set of facts. So I mean, just to be clear, 80-foot lots is not what the city of Crown Point has. That's for an R1 development. The workshops we had came in as a workshop for a PUD. So PUD, we adjust lot lengths, lot depths. We have control over facades. So it's, can't have our own set of facts on this. So when we talk about what we looked at plan commission, we have to talk about what we looked at plan commission, right? A PUD, not R1 residential.
Part of the misinformation. Okay.
Well, just for the record, I was repeating
We
what
need a motion to adjourn.
Dan Rohaney.
Got a motion,
Second.
second, and a second. Any further discussion? on the
Who was the first?
Scott.
Scott?
I was second.
Zach. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.